Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ready, cut.
Post the colors!
Outward, face. Forward, march.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to introduce our Superintendent of Linden Public Schools, Dr. Danny Robertozzi.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about the Linden High School, New Jersey ROTC? Before I give my welcoming remarks, I'd like to invite Fireman Jay Kleinball up to the podium to do the invocation.
I'd like to just start with 3 verses from Matthew 5, 14 and 6 through 16. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good deeds and praise your Father in heaven. Let us pray. Lord God, we thank you that you are always present in our lives. We thank you for your blessings, both in our lives and in the great country you have given us. We especially want to thank you for the men and women who have served in the military service, both here and overseas. May you bless their families. May you protect them with your mighty hand. And it's in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Good evening. It is my honor to welcome all of you to the first ever Hometown Heroes Veterans Day program. We are here today to recognize the brave men and women who served and who are currently serving in our armed forces. We come together as a testament to their bravery, and we thank those, especially our hometown heroes from Linden, who chose to defend and protect our country from tyranny and terror all over the world. We also gathered to show our profound and deep respect for their service. Thank you. It was exactly 100 years ago today that World War I ended. Veterans Day originated as Armistice Day on November 11th, 1919, 1 year after the war. Veterans Day is a time to reflect on the achievements of our armed forces and the sacrifices that they have made in order to make this country safe and secure. We honor our veterans by remembering those especially who made the ultimate sacrifice in order to provide a fabric of comfort under which we sleep and my children sleep every night. Thank you again. There are many dignitaries here tonight, and I'd like to recognize some of them. But please know that the most important people in this room tonight are our veterans. Having said that, I would be remiss if I did not recognize the person who's responsible for this entire event, Councilman Peter Brown. Give him a wave. He doesn't want any credit, but this was his idea. Of course, I'd like to recognize the mayor of our great city, Mayor Derek Armstead. I'd like to recognize the Union County freeholders we have in attendance tonight. Freeholder Muhammad Jallo. Freeholder Chris Hudak. We also have various city council members here tonight. Councilwoman Lisa Orman. Councilman John Roman. Council President George Alvarez, Councilman Ralph Strano, Councilwoman Michelle Yamakaitis, Councilman Barry Javik. I'd like to recognize our former mayor, also a veteran, Richard Grabunka, who's in attendance tonight. And if I missed you, I apologize. But there is one very important person I want to introduce tonight. It's a gentleman who I believe is the oldest veteran in the room tonight. Is there anyone that's older than 94? Okay. Well, there's a gentleman in the room tonight. His name is Herman Zaitchik. And Mr. Zaitchik, the Linden Public School District, had the pleasure of meeting him, or meeting back up with him about 4 years ago at the Veterans Day Parade in Washington, D.C., Memorial Day Parade in Washington, D.C. And Mr. Zaitchik saw our marching band. He saw the black and orange colors, and just by chance thought maybe it's Linden High School. He was down in Washington, D.C., and it was. And he met our supervisor of music and fine and performing arts, Matt Lorenzetti, and started telling him this story about how when he was in high school in the 1940s, and he left after his junior year of high school to enter World War II, join and fight for our country. And so he actually never graduated high school. So we had the honor 4 years ago of giving this gentleman an honorary high school diploma for his service to our country. Mr. Zaitchik, would you please stand? Thank you, Mr. Zaitchik, and thank you to all of the veterans who all have their own unique stories. At this time, I'd like to ask Councilman Brown to come up and give some remarks.
I want to thank everyone for coming out today. Today is about the vets. As you can see here, we have a room full of veterans here. Unfortunately, yes, this is the first year, and there's many vets that did not have their banners. But it's more than just the banners that represent Linden here in the room. We have a room full of vets. Can you guys please raise your hand? All the vets that are here. So the idea is that this is something that we want to do every year. In a town of 42,000 people, we have hundreds of vets. Many of them that I didn't know that I grew up here in Linden with, many of us have. And so hopefully this is just the first of many years to come. So how do we accomplish that? After the program's over, we will have our ROTC personnel. Can you guys raise your hand, the ones with they're gonna be walking around with the clipboards? They're gonna be walking around with clipboards to take applications for our vets that are here who were not able to submit an application by way of not knowing about the program, nor not having complete information. So I ask that if you're not able to do it today, we will also have these applications at the Linden Library, City Hall, and the city office. Other than that, I do want to recognize one gentleman in particular who's very important to the city of Linden, as well as everybody else, Ron Stefanowitz. I'm asking him to come up to say a few words on behalf of all the veterans here.
Thank you, Councilman Brown. You'll have to excuse me. I have a deviated septum, which I think I got when I was boxing when your father was boxing at the Golden Gloves. That was many years ago. But it's a joy for me to be here, especially to see all the veterans that I'm very familiar with. I see sitting over here in this area, members of the City of Linden Veterans Council. And I think it's important that we have this because most people view veterans only as veterans. They come home, they serve their country in battle, and they come back, and that's it. They join a group and they go around once or twice a year. But there's more to it. There's the other half of that veteran. Because we as veterans take that oath to our Constitution, which means that we will support not only God and our country, but our community, which includes our students and so on. And I know within this room, I see a lot of people I serve with. I mean, I was a member of the PAL for over 26 years, 13 as president. And I loved it. I love working with the kids. And it's just the thing that we give, we all give. And then in addition to that, there are people who do other things. Mayor Gabunka, he decided to be a councilman, policeman, and I look at the policeman back there, and a fireman. They all served their country and came to serve their community. So at this auspicious, occasion, I'd like to salute them, but I also would like to salute the ROTC. I've been their coordinator for 10 years. I salute you. I hope that this continues and we offer that other side of that veteran, not only who signed to fight for their country, but came back and served their community. So that's a very important thing. And when I tell people I've been soldiering for over 60 years, they say I'm not that old. I swear I am. And I do remember, and I want to congratulate that gentleman who left high school to go and fight. I considered the same thing in the Korean War, but my mother was stronger. She said, yeah, that's Polish for no. But as soon as I graduated, I went, signed up, and reported, and it was the best thing in the world for me. It gave me an opportunity to learn about myself. I also got my GI Bill that helped me come home, get my degree in accounting, and my MBA in finance, international business. I also received 2 certifications for information technology. And it was all because of what I learned in the military. And people said, well, how did you learn that if you were in a regimental combat team? I said, well, it was leadership and other things and curiosity. And I know our young ROTC people will be going through that. So let me end with this. I know it's a cliche, but it's true. This is the land that we love, and it's free. And it's free because we have the home of the brave. They serve. Thank you.
Introduce Carl.
Oh, okay. Commander of the Linden Veteran Council, we do have some of our leaders here, our commander. I'd like to introduce Carl Pereira, sit over here. He is the president of the Vietnam Veterans 779. Carl?
Good evening. Before I start anything, like Ron had said, I have to mention the ROTC. We just had our Halloween parade, and I was doing the announcing, and to see 450 men and women come down that street is just amazing. It's a fine bunch of men and women that people in Linden don't even know about. So I want to thank you all, and we'll be here tomorrow for you. First of all, I'd like to thank Councilman Peter Brown and his whole committee for honoring us tonight. Thank you, Peter. I can't express how grateful we are to have all of you with us. To be considered for a banner that will hang on Wood Avenue is a great honor and privilege that I don't think the veterans that are here tonight will ever forget. So again, thank you to the City of Linden, the Uptown Committee, and to all the veterans here tonight. Thank you for your service. Welcome home. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you.
Our commander from the Linden Veterans of Foreign Wars, Dennis Costello, is out there in the sea of faces. Dennis, where are you? There he is. Got to congratulate Dennis. He's an outstanding member of the VFW. He has more hats than anyone else, and you get a hat every time you do something good. Dennis, congratulations. It's always good to work with you. Okay.
Good evening, everybody. First, I just want to thank Councilman Brown for doing an outstanding job. Let's have a big round of applause for him. Every day he comes to me with an idea, and sometimes I say, Peter, but this was one of the best ideas he's ever had, so it's great. I mean, it really is. I think it's safe to say that we live in the greatest country in the world, hands down. And we have a great city, one of the greatest cities in New Jersey and probably in the world also. But great countries and great cities don't occur by happenstance. They happen because great people made it that way. And some of the greatest people on this planet sacrificed their lives so that we could be here today and enjoy some of the greatest freedoms that no other country has in the world. We can say what we want, do what we want. There's plenty of food in this country. It is the greatest place in the world. And if it were not for the veterans, we wouldn't be here today. So I'd like to just speak a little bit about my father. He's one of the honorees here tonight. You know, all of us have our stories that we've heard from our parents and our grandparents about their experience in the war. And my father's experience was one of volunteerism. My father was drafted probably, I think, in his last 2 months of eligibility. So he wound up in Korea. And in that conflict, they were mustering in the morning, and the sergeant came out and said he wanted to volunteer. So one of the young guys next to my father, 18-year-old, he said, don't volunteer. They'll give you all crap jobs. Don't volunteer. So my father looked over at him. He said, since when do I listen to an 18-year-old? And he raised his hand. And the sergeant came out and said, you're going to be driving the corporal. That's going to be your job. So my father got a chance to drive the corporal. He drove his Jeep. He drove his tank. Any piece of equipment that the corporal was needed to drive, my father was fortunate enough to be the driver. So lucky for him, while all the action was up in the front, he was in the back with the corporal. So he didn't really see any real danger. So a few months later, the corporal came to him and said, I got good news and bad news. He said, first, the good news. He says, I'm leaving. I'm going to Germany. I'm retiring. He said, and my father said, what's the bad news? He says, you get to come with me. So my father, from there, went to Germany. So he really didn't see a lot of action in Korea. He was very fortunate. But again, the lesson that we learned here is that volunteers, it's not a bad thing. He wound up receiving one of probably a premier job. I mean, to drive a corporal around, to him, that was a very exciting adventure. And he said he met a lot of interesting people while he was in Germany and in Korea. So that is my story, my father's story. And I'm sure, like many of you all, you'll have stories of your families and your fathers and your grandfathers, and they're great stories. And again, we would not be here enjoying this country, the greatest country in the world, had they not made the sacrifice. And some of them made the ultimate sacrifice. They gave their lives so that we could be here today. So once again, Councilman Brown, thank you for everything you've done. And again, we have a lot of veterans in our town, so don't feel slighted if we didn't get to you this year, because again, we're going to be doing this every year. I think it's the best thing we could do is to honor those who made that commitment to make sure that we can stand here and enjoy the bounties of this country. So God bless you all. And without any further ado, I don't know whether you gentlemen want to speak or do you just want to. We're going to have Muhammad Jallow and Freeholder Jallow and Freeholder Hudak come and say a few words as well.
My name is Muhammad Jallow. I'm a Union County freeholder. I'm here with Chris Hudak. He'll speak in a moment. I'm very happy to be here in Linden to celebrate Veterans Day. We've been around to other places within the county, and I got to tell you, the way Linden is celebrating Veterans Day is bar none the best celebration here in the county of Union, and you guys should give yourselves a round of applause for that. It is a gross understatement to say that we owe everything to our veterans. I mean, the ability to eat, to play, to make money, to exist in this country, to protest, to argue with each other, to kneel, to everything that we do, it's due to the sacrifices that the men and women of our armed forces make on a daily basis, have made since the founding of our country until now, and they deserve as many rounds of applause as we can give, so let's go ahead and give them another one. I want to commend Peter Brown for putting together such an amazing program. Hometown Heroes is absolutely phenomenal. The ability to see the banners of individuals from this community who have fought and served in our armed forces is absolutely amazing. I thank the members of the city council and the mayor for supporting this initiative. It's absolutely fantastic. I didn't get my application in for my grandfather, but I'm certainly going to do that next year. He is 95 years old. He served in World War II, and he's lived in Linden since 1953. So I'm definitely served in the Air Force. We are here today to give a token, and a small token, of our appreciation to those who have been honored. I bring Chris Hudak up to speak and present the resolution, and then we will give our token as well, which is a certificate that we have to add to the celebration, to the banners, and to all of that, to the veterans who we've honored here in Linden. So congratulations to you, Chris.
Good evening, everyone. I too want to join in thanking the Linden ROTC, the Board of Education, the CID, and Peter Brown. I'm going to say you did a fantastic job. He's running away, but he really did. This is just a tremendous effort on his behalf. But the City Council and the residents who are here. But most of all, I do want to acknowledge those who have served this country, because we have this country for those that have served. And some may have been drafted, some have volunteered, some chose to use the military as a form of upward mobility for education. We are forever grateful for them because they all served with honor, and we have and are able to enjoy so many freedoms in this country because of them. You know, I see in this room, and I see a lot of civic pride in those who serve. And I know, looking at the list, and I was watching the scroll of names and the banners being unveiled, and many of the names are familiar, people that we all know, people that we see. I see Armstead, I see Clark, I see Gregorio, I see Grabunka, Villani, I see Valvano, I see Stocker, I see Miskowitz, I see all names of friends and family that I've known for so long. But we, beyond the celebration of those veterans who are here tonight, and we do celebrate you, and we can't help but celebrate you enough, we have to remember that there are those who are not here today who have served this country, who may not have had as easy of a time when they came home. I remind you that 20% of those who came back from Afghanistan and Iraq are suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome. There is still an unemployment and a housing crisis with our veterans. So we have to honor those who served, and we have to commit ourselves to making sure those who serve get the best care, because they may not come. We have to reach out to our friends and our neighbors who've served and say, thank you for your service, and what can I do for you? Because you have given me everything. We have a resolution, which is as Freelder Jallo said, is a very small token of our appreciation. And it, there's some formality, and it lists all the names of those individuals who we are honoring today. But I just want to end with the final line, is that the mission of the 2018 Linden Hometown Hero Banner Program is to honor and recognize from the city of Linden, as well as their families, those who have served, those who have given the ultimate sacrifice, and to defend the freedom and the democracy here in the United States. And therefore, be it resolved that the Union County Board of Chosen Freeholders hereby recognize Uptown Linden and congratulate the veterans who were named Linden Hometown Heroes at the Welcome Heroes ceremony at Linden High School today, Sunday, November 11, 2018. And this was put into our record at our last Freeholder meeting. I'd like to ask Ron Stefano if he would come up and accept this resolution on behalf of the veterans of the city of Linden.
No, I think this is an honor to accept this resolution for the veterans. And again, I'm very happy to do this because you definitely deserve it. And I think we'll continue this, and hopefully it will grow. I don't know how much more we can grow. Do we have a bigger place than this? Airport, okay. But in closing, congratulations to all the veterans who will be receiving this resolution. And we wish you a lot of health and look to see you next year. Take care. Thank you.
We're going to have the ROTC actually bring the award to you, because we realize that we don't want everybody to have to come up. So.
So as Mr. Gregorio is coming up, I'm sure we all know the Gregorio family. I want to clarify something real quick. If everyone could look at the banners, all right? I don't like taking credit for this because it was actually a team. It was Alexis, Rich Cozio, Jessica, Sandy, and I know I'm missing a bunch of people, Freelder Jallo, Rebecca, the list can go on and on, Danny Robertozzi. The whole idea of this program was to say thank you to our vets, but this was a team effort. Hence why if you look at the bottom of the banner and on the back of your brochures, we include the SID district that paid for the banners. We're in the gym of the Board of Education with the help of Dana Robertozzi and the Board of Education. Every board member here helped with this program. And if you look, the City of Linden is the one with the awards that were being passed out. Our freeholders are the ones with the proclamations that have been passed out. So this was a team effort. Next year, we're hoping to include the library and our historical society, because there are veterans out there that we want to also honor, but it's the help of the library, the historical society, and other volunteers that we'll be able to do this year after year after year. So just want to clarify that this is the team effort that many people in this room did help out with. And without speaking too much, I want to bring my mentor and I think grandmother to many, Ms. Gregorio.
I definitely want to thank Councilman Brown and our Mayor Armstead for this wonderful, wonderful tribute. Our city workers, our community workers, the Six Flag kids that helped so much to put this all together. The wonderful tribute. It's a job well done. It took a lot of work, a lot of time. We have some great people in this city. John served this city for 32 years with and I might ask, he served it well. He also served his country that he loved very much. His favorite thing was his flag. He would go around with Eddie Kaloji Jr. in a car looking for tattered and torn flags and knock at a door and say, "Do you think we could replace that?" And if he got a no, he would say, "Tomorrow you'll have a new one." That meant everything. He was a good American, a very good American. So without further ado, I would like to say we have a great city. I've been here since 1950. They're my family. I love the city, I love the people, and they know that. We have a great country. God bless America. God bless everyone that's in here. I hope that we do continue to see this, and I hope I live long enough to see it. Thank you. Have a good evening.